Greetings traders, Marcelo here, founder of the Day Trading Academy. We're here in the beautiful glacier called Perito Moreno in Patagonia, Argentina, in the deep south. Today we're going to be answering all your questions that you have in the series of Ask Marcelo. So don't forget to subscribe here on the channel. Also, all the questions that you guys have, hashtag Ask Marcelo. That's a little bit far away. I'm sure you guys will see some pieces falling off here. The first question I have is from Dr. Fanta, or Dr. Fanta. I'm gonna just say Fanta, okay?
Can you expand your definition of emotional intelligence? What is the best way to develop that? I agree that is the most important skill to develop.
So, emotional intelligence is, I would summarize it as understanding how you feel at any point in time. I'm gonna give you an example, Fanta. So, whenever I get angry, I actually can, you know, when I was younger, I used to be a very impatient, and I'd have a really quick spark, meaning that I would get angry really quickly over stupid things, right? Things that don't matter. And so, like, when, you know, obviously any person in the world always has to improve the things that they have to about themselves if they want to obviously become a better person. So if something happens or I feel myself getting upset, now I can literally see it in third person, so to speak, right? So I can literally see the feeling of me getting upset and actually see it in third person of me getting upset. And then that way I don't get upset, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. One example would be, for example, is you know, breaking up with someone and you doing something just to impress them or just to trying to get them angry, when in reality the reason why you're doing that is not because you're angry because of the breakup, it's because you're insecure. See what I mean? So having emotional intelligence is really about having the capacity to understand how you feel, and also making sure that you understand the emotional state that you're in. And in reference to trading, for example, it's a situation where you know that you're upset because you missed a good trade, and you realize that you should stop trading because you're upset. And when you're upset, you make really bad decisions. That's an example. Nikolai, for example, one of the master traders at DTA, he I guess I can say pioneered this process where if you set an alarm a certain period of time, and when that alarm goes off, you get used to asking yourself how you feel. Meaning, you know, are you tired? Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you anxious? Are you impatient? Right? You start to understand the way you feel at any moment in time. And not only that, you start to understand how you feel based on the reactions of what the market is doing and how you're interacting with the market. So if you miss a good trade, for example, most traders, most consistent or profitable traders should say, well, it doesn't matter, there'll be another one. You know, obviously you shouldn't miss a trade, but missing it obviously is something that's always going to happen. Or losing, for example, right? The first trade of the day, if you lose it, a beginner trader or a trader that's still looking for his consistency might get angry because they lost the first trade, not knowing whether it was a good trade or not, and then they would go out and try to force another trade because they lost the first one. So knowing yourself, right? Being I'm thinking in Spanish now, being in Latin America for so long, being and not ambient, being understanding why you feel the way you feel. That's a good way of saying it. So it's about really just understanding that and what makes you feel that way, because once you begin to understand that, Fanta, you're going to begin to start to understand. Obviously, I would say some of the problems that we have as people, I think one of the problems when it comes to day trading that a lot of people have is that most people aren't willing to admit that they have a problem in the first place. So someone who's impatient, someone who has an insecurity, right? It's not easy for a human to realize or admit to themselves, much less to anybody else, that they have an insecurity, because obviously that hurts, right? It kind of hits at the core of a being of somebody. So I think that at the end of the day is what being emotional intelligence, I think is emotionally intelligent is what is all about. And honestly, that would be the most important thing that one can learn, or the most important thing that one has to learn when it comes to becoming a consistent trader. Because at the end of the day, trading isn't about making money. Trading is about being consistent. And if you're going to be consistent, whether it's $1 a day or $50 a day or $1 billion a day, whatever the case may be, right? Because nothing is guaranteed. You're only as good as your last trade. And that's part of the reason why trading is so tough, because you have to not only understand what the technical aspect of what the market is doing, but you have to do the more difficult task, which is understand how you feel and manage yourself, manage your own emotions. And most people, unfortunately, while they want all the success that comes with trading, like, you know, the bright lights and the cars and the time and the freedom and coming to see places like this with the time that you have, most people aren't willing to sacrifice what they have to, which means they have to literally understand themselves, and they have to sacrifice let's say the greater good, so to speak, to really admit to themselves and get better as a person. So really good question, Fanta. We're gonna go ahead and enjoy the glacier. If you guys have any other questions, don't forget to mark them with hashtag AskMarcello, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
There goes a sight from my soul.